Hello everybody, welcome to IT Skills channel. My name is Aiden. In today's video, we're going to take a look at completing our Nutanix lab. We have done a good job so far by implementing our Nutanix nodes and blocks. We have total of 14 blocks. We have couple G6, we have couple of G5, and we're going to try to assemble this today. We're going to finish it up. So without further ado, let's go there and start completing the wiring. The wiring and the setting up the server rack will take a long time. That's why it took us a long time to get this done. So let's do this. So let's get started. So far what we got is our switch here is plugged in. We got Nutanix G6, G5 nodes. We got a couple patch panel. We got the power cords. We're trying to organize this into official data center or close to data centers we can get. So I also got a couple UPSs from Larcel and stuff like that. I need to test them to see if they work. But we're gonna implement these UPSs as well. Always, when you're doing a home lab, always look for a deal because it can add up sometimes. And so definitely will be helpful to you and to your budget. Your budget will thank you if you could actually go ahead and try to do the best you can by actually looking for deals or investing into a place where we can find appropriate deals for the budget. Because if you try to go with everything required for home lab, you're gonna get bankrupt because it depends on what you're trying to do. If you want redundancy, if you want all the nice fancy things, it can get overwhelming. It can get quickly over the budget. So that's why I personally believe you don't have to buy the shiniest object. You're buying a recycle equipment or finding somebody who can donate a recycle equipment. It's also equally as important to your bottom line. But I'm putting up this on top over here. And then ultimately what we're gonna need to do is basically try to do something where each server, technically speaking, will be able to have one UPS connected to it. So that way, whenever we have any major downtime, we will not have a power outage. Our UPS can hopefully save us from that disaster. But right now, this is heavy. It's gonna be hard to move it. I can hardly move this because it's got super loaded with the UPSs. And then I need an uplink. So let me plug in this one over here. This is my switch. And then there's something else I need to plug in. I'm not sure where that went. But as you can see here though, no matter how much we try to organize this, it feels like it's gonna get super bloated quickly. I also need to get a switch from my office, and we need to use that switch because we need it to be our uplink switch to basically connect to the internet and then send the traffic to all the services. And so that's what we need to do. So let me do this one. I don't like messing with my uplink one, but we gotta do it, buddies. We gotta make it happen. And I'm probably gonna get it like some type of firewall or something to deal with this long term, but short term right now, we're trying to boot up this and we're trying to make this happen. So let me see, where is this plugged into? It's plugged into here. You guys can't see this right now, and it's okay. So let's see here. So right now, we got pretty much the secondary switch over here. It's plugged in, and we like to put the switch on the back, and it will basically serves as a way to link together everything. So we need a 4 separate cable, and those cable purpose is just to basically connect from the switch. So from the main, so let me figure out how we do this one. So I got what I need here. I need to move this back. I need to also, let's move this power cable back here. This is our power cable thing. We need to get it out of the way so we can actually plug things back in there. And also, when we're doing this one, you definitely need to have a lot of time in your hands, or at least allocate a time to try to get this done. The server rack will be right here, and I need to move this out of the way because this is one of the cables we're gonna use. So we're gonna drag this down if I can. Before we move it, we're gonna plug in some of the switch stuff back in here. So this is a good cable. So we're gonna plug in this switch. So this is gonna be uplink for the net scaler. This is directly going to the uplink switch. That's good. Then we also need the same thing for those ones. So then we find a good cable. I don't see a whole lot of, it's not right. This is gonna go to one of the uplink down here. And honestly, I may have to unplug some of them because Actually, we left a port here, so that's good. Boom, that's the uplink for that. Then we need to do one for downstairs, down one. Then we can get all the uplink sorted. That's a long cable, we don't need that too long. Okay, so we might have to use that yellow cable, although I don't like it. It seems pretty, he's gonna mix it up with the other cable, so but we're gonna have to do that. And it's gonna go to the switch down to the floor. So far so good. And obviously one cable, so this one, that one. That's gonna be an uplink. It's gonna go to the switch over here. So instead of using this long one, we can just use a shorter cable. Where did I see a short cable? It's not here. We might have to use this yellow one, the short one. So we're gonna go ahead from this one to this one. Now I think we got everything we need to plug in. What else do we not plug in? We plugged in everything pretty much. Actually, we forgot one piece. But that one I think we couldn't plug it in because we ran out of ports. I believe at least. We ran out of switch. So we need to go ahead and power on. But before I do this, let me move this back. Very heavy. You have to use all your muscle for this one, it would seem. Is this one going to? Oh, that's another thing. Forgot it to plug in. So we should have a 2 uplink coming down, and we're gonna plug those 2 uplink. So, or 1 uplink at least. So moving this back to the corner is very heavy. Full video for this because this is where I need a car to help me, but he's not in today. I wasn't supposed to be doing this today, but we improvising. All right, so let's see. I know some of these cables are uplink. That's one camera. Can't tell which one's the uplink or not, but we'll find out one way or another. Oops, that might be the camera. Hopefully this is not the camera or the uplink because we're gonna run out of room. It's gonna be too small. It's gonna be extremely small actually. We forgot one more uplink, and that's probably what we're gonna do with that cable. We saw that one. Okay, so I need an uplink for, I don't know if I can use this Meraki firewall. Let's try. In any case, I need an uplink for the blue cables. That's one of the room's cables. Hold on, let's see. Let's take this out. So right now, all I'm doing is tidying up this thing. So there's a lot of moving pieces involved, especially when you're trying to get this right and get it all figured out. So that's why you guys are not seeing me saying anything, because sometimes when you're getting into the mood, you just get it. You just forget sometimes that you are actually filming. You get to this, your own zone. You get to enjoy what you do. You really don't think about that side of the world that much. You just get into your own feelings, if you will. And this place is very dusty, so I think it's gonna ruin my clothes for sure. But one thing I will tell you in this video, the video that we make for the data center stuff, expect our clothes to be dustier because we're dealing with a lot of dust. In fact, you should be concerned if we're super clean, our clothes is clean, because of the amount of dust involved here. There's no way you could keep it clean. It's like somebody who's wearing a suit and tie, and they say they work at like a plumber. Or you can't have the two together. So let me move the camera closer, and so hopefully you guys are getting the glimpse of this. But let me move it closer, and you're gonna see even more. So you can hopefully you can see it zoom in. So what I'm gonna do right now is, you can see a lot of things is plugged in, right? Before I power this on, I like to do something that most people won't do. I want to make sure my uplink network is good, because if network is not good, I don't want to deal with it while the network is on and then it's just loud noise. So I'll prefer to deal with the network while we have a peace and quiet. Because once you turn on the servers, we will not have a peace and quiet, especially 4 of them. They're going to be loud, obnoxious, and overall just they will not be ready for us to be heard. So I basically plugged in the network. I'm seeing something showing up. Ultimately, what I'm trying to make sure that whether we can get it or not is, I want to make sure whether my cameras, CCTVs are gonna come on and work. Can't move that, so, but let me plug in what I can plug in. The cable notch broke on that one. Anyways, let's see, do we get any connectivity? We must check that before we go ahead and do anything else. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get a probe. I'm gonna get a cable probe, and then we're gonna test to see whether that cable is actually, and I think we do have a probe underneath here. Network tester, and then we'll see where this leads up to. I don't know which one is which. I should be labeling this, but I did not label it. Let's go probe this, figure out which port we're dealing with, and then we go from there. Is it this one? Well, we'll find out in a bit. It is that one. So we're gonna have active internet connectivity with this one. And I'm gonna actually do something that is easier. And unplug the probe from there. So this is our network cable tester, and this is gonna allow us to test it. We test the network. If you want to figure out which port goes which, it's like a handy tool for you to help you track down and figure out whether you need which port it is. Because if I didn't have this one, I will be having to do a lot of back and forth. But this one made it easier for me, and now I know which port we are dealing with. Now I'm gonna see if we have a live connectivity with that port, and if we do, we'll be great. Guys, we do have internet connectivity, which is good. Now we can fire up the Nutanix. All right, so it has come the time. Where is this? Where does this come from? This is what I was afraid of. That switch is not plugged in. We must plug in every single switch, no exception. And this one we didn't plug it in because I was trying to do something clever and it didn't work. So let me plug this in here. That's the biggest thing I'm thinking we're trying to avoid, is having a server that do not power or network come up because we forgot to plug them in correctly in the first place. So we know we can prevent everything, but this is supposed to be easy one. And I also don't have uplink for one of them. Not a net uplink. We did run out of uplink port for something. Let's find first of all a cable, the spare cable. We're gonna plug that in. When you are doing a lot of things at once and you keep running out of things, right? That's what we're dealing with. I'm gonna use this cable. It's longer, but right now we're gonna make it to where that will serve as our uplink. This is what you call right now getting the work done. I'm gonna probably get more network equipment, so I'm gonna have to make this more perfected. But right now, at this point in time, wait. We also didn't plug in that net scaler. So we do have our issues, a little bit of an administrative issue that we forgot to handle. But one storm at a time, one crisis at a time, one major crisis at a time, buddies. When we're gonna plug this in here. Actually, do we need to do that? I don't think so. I don't know. Nope, we don't need to do that actually, because we already got it, the uplink through that. So what we need to do is we do have an extra port, a spare port, and that port, it will come in handy because I'm gonna plug that to my camera. I don't like doing that, but we do have to make a port somehow available. Now this is gonna go to the camera, and then this one is gonna go to the firewall. I do have one old firewall over here. I don't even know how it's gonna work, but it's one of those Cisco Meraki. Problem with the Meraki is that if you don't have a license, it's useless. And this is what we have. But I'm gonna see if I can get it to do something. I really doubt it's gonna do anything for us because we don't have the license. We're too broke for Meraki, which is why I'm trying to get something else later on. Let's see if this is gonna work, because I was just trying to plug this in and we're not getting it. Nope. I think we just need to face the fact that we will have some disorganization. What I was trying to do is, if it didn't work, but I was trying to have, now what I have to do is I have to put a cable across here like that. But I was hoping I could have the two net scaler plugged in without having to do that, but I don't think we will be able to get away with it. So we run out of cable, we run out of all good options really. But maybe I may not need to power all the net scaler at once, because I don't have 6 cables over here. So we may just say it's okay. And I think that's what we're gonna do anyways, because we're gonna power one net scaler. The next one, I was trying to install one of them pfSense and then see if we could use it that way, but right now the way it is that our cables do not reach, or I don't think it will reach, all of them will not reach properly. That one does reach, but not all of them will reach. This is the only one that probably will reach. Maybe another one will reach this too. You can see how ghetto that's becoming because the cables are too short. I'm gonna just do this one thing. I'm gonna plug one of them to management port, and then the rest of it will be left unplugged. We may be able to get away with it like that because it's multi-ports, and I don't think I will want to feed all of the ports like there. So that's what we got. Now guys, it's the time you've been waiting for. We are ready to fire this up. We're ready to turn it on. But before I do, let me plug in the VGA cable into one of these nodes. Is it wobbly? Ooh, that's not cool. Why is it wobbly? It's definitely not good that it's wobbly, because I don't want it to fall on anyone, especially when you got kids. So the question is, even though it's wobbly, it's easily maneuverable. Let's see how easy it is to move it. Let's take a look. I'm gonna get dirty a little bit here. My floor is not even, that's why it's wobbly. My floor is not even, but nevertheless, we are ready to power this on. It is the best it can get right now. And I'm gonna move it further along that way. But let me locate the VGA and then we can go ahead and get one of them Nutanix node plugged in. Especially the ones we know. The node that I know is always works and always is one of my primary node that been doing my production services, G6. And we'll see whether node, I'm gonna connect to specifically one of the node A's and I'm gonna see how does it do. So without further ado, let's fire it away. I need to plug in the power. Now prepare to get loud. Prepare to get the ears hurt because it's gonna be a big power. And I don't know if my power can handle this. I hope it does. There you go. One of the UPS is not happy. That's what you see that mean. You can see here, things is coming up. I don't know if I plugged that Citrix one on, but hopefully you guys can see the look at it. So this one is not coming on. Did I not plug this one in? I didn't plug in my node correct, one of the node correctly. And even that NetScaler is not working. So let's deal with the power issue here. I need to reduce the UPSs like this one. I'm gonna go ahead. What is that doing? Well, I actually did it by the UPS here. So that one comes on. So everything is on now, I think. This is what you call data center now. So you can see all the LEDs, all the nodes. Excuse this cable, but I ran out of organizational cables. But I just need to figure out why that NetScaler node is not coming on. So let me look into that and then we can get out of here next. Oh, I tripped something, sorry. This is what the problem with this thing is, that I basically messed with that. So I need to probably don't use power strip anymore. I think that's the problem. I'm gonna just use UPS. So it's gonna make it less complicated because the power strip is too much and I only need to use 2 UPS, I think, not 3. And then one of the UPS should go to my switch. Yep. Talking about complicating them, in fact, making things complicated. So sometimes there's such a thing as overcomplication, and this is what one of them is. One of the scenarios, this is where overcomplication happens. This one, we don't need it to be plugged in right now. We saw a glimpse of what this thing can do, but we are not done because we made some literal mistakes of how we wanted to power all this thing on. And I also need to deal with which cable goes to which. I have no idea right now at this point in time. So I'm gonna unplug everything. Ideally what I want is, we have total of how many ports here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 ports. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So you got 15 ports technically. So what I would like is, technically speaking, if we can achieve it, is to have some power, some server get power through our port 1 and then the other one get power through UPS port 2. So when UPS fails, they shouldn't have the issue. And I just unplugged that. So let me see, let me just deal with that for now. This one is a monitor. Monitor gets plugged in already because we need the monitor to do some work. So we're just making sure that what we're doing doesn't cause us to get confused, because right now I have to admit it was very confusing to figure out which one we're dealing with what. And the whole purpose of doing this is to get the confusion out of the way, because when we are confused about it, how does anyone else has any chance of ever figuring out what we're trying to do, what we accomplished? And that is the whole idea of it. And this is like, even though this is a trial setup, we're not doing official data center stuff, still aim to make it nice and neat. I detangled the whole power pack because it was super confusing as to what it was trying to do here. And then I'm gonna go down to plug this in. So now let's try to figure out which power we want to use for where. So for node 1, it's just got unplugged, so I'm not sure which one is that, but we need to figure out all this power situation. So that's the Citrix NetScaler, the one in the bottom. It's gonna go to this one. Anything that's not server, I guess I'm gonna go just put them in one node, and then Nutanix one, I might just put them all in one node, one PS as well. I was hoping to have something more redundant, but ain't gonna happen because we don't have enough availabilities of the ports. You're gonna hear a lot more noise again. So you can see that boot up was just a Nutanix booting up from the scratch. Once the boot up is finished, it's much quieter. It's much more acceptable. There's one node that has issue, and that node has missing some network cable. That's why it's doing this. So it's missing network cable. I don't know why the monitor is not on, but And also this one should be on too, and that node is not on. So we got to figure out something, and that's not working either. The little dilemma we have is that some switches are not online yet, but they should be online. The Nutanix node is online, but the third one is not online, and that one is not online. So we got to investigate this. But we're looking like, and also the top one is not online, and the other switch is not online. What the heck? We gotta, that one, the issue is simple. Somehow I yanked the cable and I never gave it back. So the power cable is missing the power cable, that one. So let's get a power cable. Do we have a smaller one? Because that's a big one. Here it is. So this is a good problem to solve. Anywhere you are doing, I expect to have a problem. So is this switch should be coming on right now? Yep, it is. Now the question is, why is that one not coming on? And the net scaler. The other switch is good, but that net scaler is not good. I think there's a switch that needs to be flipped on. I don't know. There you go, there's the switch. I can't even flip that switch on or off even if I wanted to. Go direct to the net scaler power and see, because that is interesting. That one we're gonna go direct to the source, just because I'm not sure. I'm testing to see why it's not happy. It doesn't want to come on. And also we got to do the same test. This is the Nutanix node that's not plugged in probably. We're missing so many. That's node 3. That one is registered. I don't know what happened, but it's finally, I guess, talking to the power. And it should talk to the rest of it too. I think I plugged in everything. That node should boot up in a bit. It's still interesting that Netscaler is still not coming on. That Netscaler is coming on now. I see the power. I just got a link light. No LED screen though. Well, those ones are not getting even LED. Not perfect as you can see, because when you have a lot of power to go in, there's gonna be some issues here. And I'm having some issues with some communication. You could see it doesn't know what to do on some of them. And the top one should be working. But then I was rearranging a lot of cables, so I may have accidentally did something with it. There you go, I did something with it. I unplugged it. Without on purpose, obviously, but it was unplugged. That should be on now. And there's a switch that's not coming on. At this point, you guys may be like, what is going on here? Well, there's nothing going on here other than the fact is problems can come up sometimes, and this is one of the problems you could expect to face. We will face it head on and we will fix it. As simple as that. Just trying to see if it's one port dead or if this is just being elusive. It's not working, it's not coming on. Let's try something else. Maybe the power for that thing just died. Let me try with this. Yep, it was something with that cord that he wasn't happy with, but I fixed it. Still, what's going on with that Netscaler? What happened? And you can see there's so many ports we have. Not a lot of them are active. So I need to figure out what's going on with the Netscaler, and then we should be done. I am not sure whether this thing is not getting enough power or not. It's the easiest one that doesn't require troubleshooting, but it's the one that is actually being stubborn. Did I turn off the LED by chance? It was nice, it was making it beautiful, but now it's not cooperating. Let's get you close up, guys. That cat is always here. So that's what we got so far. You can see everything is on. It's in there now, that cat. There's a cat that I don't even know, it's a stray cat that keeps coming in here. So I need to troubleshoot one node that has an issue, and then also, oh, this one, I know the issue it has. It's missing a lot of disk. That's a simple issue. It's missing a lot of disk, and that's why it's basically one node is probably not working. Basically, that's what it is. This one is simple because this one is gonna always be red, and it's okay. I just need to now fix the Netscaler, and if we troubleshoot that and fix it, we're clean, we're good. Let's see if I can get it though. Let me try something. I don't know, maybe it needs its own special power, but we're gonna try something that normally I don't like to try, but we will try it. So we gotta have a special power, nothing. Let me try this other one, the top one. So that one is booting up. I think that was the issue. It didn't like being plugged into a lot of things. And I think this one just needs more. So I definitely need to plug the rest of the cables in, because this Netscaler, for whatever reason, does not like when it doesn't have all the cables plugged into it. So I'm wondering if I can just get plugged into the management cable, and then it should be able to boot up. I'm unplugging, plug it back in and see. And it could be the wrong power size. It might be the wrong one. We need to find another power we can try with this, because that one doesn't seem to be doing it. we need a regular power cable if we can find it. And I need to close the rack enclosure. So let's see, do I have a power somewhere in here? Oh. All right, so we got another cable for this. So we're gonna try to replace the power cable for the bottom nut skiller with this one and see if it's gonna work. So I think the power cable I have is bad. And one thing you'll find out is that when it comes to anything like, you can eliminate a lot of issues by troubleshooting or replacing thing with it or trying different avenues. There's no point in dwelling in one thing that doesn't work without trying different things. So try different things. It's definitely, you're gonna be surprised with the results. Sometimes you might find out, oh, it just needed to be replaced with the power. So I just replace the power and see if that will do it. I know that power is good. I can't vouch for this one, but I know that one is good. And it looks like it's not a power related, because if it was, having a two separate good power, it would have done it. But somehow, I don't think the issue is power related. It's not power related, but at the same time, we will get something done with it. So, oh yeah, I think I know the problem. It can probably boot up because that device we didn't configure it to our own network. So let me go ahead and it's been exciting, but it's a lot. As you can see, it's a lot. It takes a lot of effort to do this. Let me check one thing, and I need to check is basically go into my Nutanix, so the nodes I have. I know it has issues, but let's see if it's gonna actually go in there. 192.168.120. There you go. Looks like I can go there. And can I go into the VMs? Let me log in first of all. So it disconnected from Prism Central and it's rebuilding the capacity. Why is it rebuilding the capacity? Oh, because let me look at the hardware. What happened? So one node, oh, it's not online. So let's check how many nodes we have. We only have one node. One node is not on. So I think what happened is something happened with our power and that node did not come on. So let's figure out what happened to that node. Maybe, or it's not plugged in all the way. But at least we can say one thing for sure, it is working. Which node is that? Node A is not on. As you can see here, this is node B. Hold up, that's node A. Node B is not on. And node C. And we can confirm this for sure. Let me make sure. You'll find out which node is not on by basically going to the identification. And then we need to troubleshoot why that node is not on. So it says we only have two nodes, but we are a 3-node cluster. So let's come over here to our hardware, host, node B is not on. Yep, that's what I figured, because there's not enough traffic going through there. So we need to figure out what happened to node B. Why is it not coming on? I bet you we don't have sufficient power, and that's why. But let's switch back and then we can test that. But before we do that, I need to actually get a cable and plug directly to this, make the local connection, and then make this happen. So let's do that. Let's do it. We need a chair, which we will get from there. When you go in the data centers, you gotta sit sometimes and you gotta do something, because doing things on this while standing, you ain't gonna cut it all the time. So we're gonna need to change this configuration. And we also need to troubleshoot node B. So I think one easy troubleshooting we're gonna be able to do is the node B one, but I do need to also do this. So let me connect to it, see if my laptop has got enough power. If it doesn't, looks like it got enough power. And also, what happened to node B? Are we just missing? This one is not even in all the way. Good. It looks like we got a critical low battery. Okay, let's plug in the power over here. And then on top of that, let's take a look at why node B is not working. I bet it's just networking. Because power is good. Maybe networking is not. Oh, that's actually node C, so it's not. Okay, we'll troubleshoot this, but let's do this. This is easy win for us, which is a NetScaler. We're gonna change the IP. Need to boot up this thing, reboot this thing. One of the ways to do that is gonna be unplug this one of them. So we're gonna fix the Nutanix node. This one is gonna be more involved. So let's do this. So I know node C, that one is not good. Is it good? And not all ports are active though. That's a simple fix. This one is not working. One switch is not coming on. It's a simple fix. I don't know what happened, but we got it. What happened to his power? It's just no power plugged into it. Golly. And I'm here about to yank everything. Work hard on. The lesson to learn from today is that you just never need to not guess anything when it comes to making sure the infrastructure is solid, networking is good. Double check, triple check, because you could make a silly mistake, silly error. Even I would say uncharacteristic error if you don't be careful. That one doesn't come on. Interesting. Is that power really that bad? Nope, it's good. I think we're good for that one. Let me go double check something and then we'll be back. All the switches are plugged in. It's complex, very complex. We're gonna see if that node came back alive, and my phone's about to die, so we're gonna have to wrap up this recording to do the rest of the testing. But I'll say we have enough footage for one video. Let's go ahead and wrap up the recording, and then we'll come back for the following day, because I think this is the sixth or fifth day we've been doing this. But you can see the environment is coming together. We got things going on. So yep, thank you guys for watching this. All right guys, thank you for watching the channel. We really appreciate you for tuning in to the channel skills. So we brought you from the beginning of getting this rack, assembling, putting all the server in a makeshift rack, doing all the tying up, assembling, and putting all our nodes here. And there's still so much more to do. So if you like this kind of type of content, please subscribe and have a good rest of the day. Enjoy learning, or never stop learning. Until next time, have a good day. Peace.